Not sure what's going on, but what's up? Welcome to the latest live stream. Oh, okay, never mind. I know what that is. My iPad is on. I'm hearing feedback. I'm like, what the hell is that? Anyway, what's up? Welcome to today's stream. Today is Friday, January 3rd, 2025. Didn't stream yesterday or the day before, I think. Was it the day before? I don't know. I know I didn't stream yesterday, and that's because my mom was here. So, yeah, I'm not about to stream while anyone's here. I don't know if I streamed the day before, but I'm pretty sure I streamed on the first. So yeah, I'm back, and I don't really have much of an agenda today. I'm just on. So what I'll likely do is start playing some of the stuff that I've been throwing in my Discord channel. I'm using it as a dumping ground of content that I want to talk about. So we'll go ahead and do that. By the way, if you're curious to know what content I'm referring to, you can just go and look at my Discord, and you'll see that there are thousands of messages from me. Right, and that's what they are. So I am using it now as a way to plan. No, I don't want to call it plan, but I'm using it to as like a staging ground per se. You know, where I can put stuff, have my ideas, have content I can go to when I have nothing to talk about, or if I don't want to edit right now because I have videos I need to edit, I have photos I need to edit. I don't feel like doing it right now. So yeah, let's go ahead and switch over to my screen, maybe. Let's open up this Discord. Yeah, so this is the Discord I'm referring to. And I decided at the beginning of the year, I was like, you know what? It'll be a good idea for me to just put as much stuff in this Discord channel because I think that was what I was using. I had a Slack channel for that, but when I moved over to Discord, I kind of lost all of that. So let me find the first thing that I want to talk about. And this is going to be all over the place because I'm all over the place. I have a lot more interest. I'm not very, what do you call it? I have a lot of stuff going on. I'm not that boring of a person, even though, you know, I may talk as if I'm a boring person. So the first thing that I want to talk about is this right here. There are rumors that DJI are working on a new camera system, a new, you know, like a actual camera, a handheld camera. I don't know what else you would call it. So yeah, I'm actually quite interested in this because DJI has really leveled up in the video space. You know, I discovered them from their gimbals and drones initially, and it's been quite impressive how they've continued to innovate on the drone front as well as on the what do you call these things? The gimbal front. Let me go grab one so I can kind of show what I mean. I have a few of them, but I'll be right back. Oh, wait a minute. I think I have to do more than this. Yeah, sure, whatever. I don't really have. It's not like I have a schedule to adhere to. Fortunately, I have lots of cameras. I was like, I don't want to take that camera off the tripod because I'll have to do stuff. And by that camera right there, don't want to take it off the tripod. And I also don't want to take off the mic and all this other crap. So I'm going to use my A7. Oh, this is the A7S III. I didn't realize it. So my A7S III, we'll use that. So my A7 IV must still be on my desk. So let's cover the innovation. By the way, if you've never seen this gimbal, it's actually quite dope. This is the RS3. There is a RS4 that I thought about getting, but I was just like, I rarely use this, so no need. First things first, gotta attach the little thingamajig to another thingamajig. So we'll do some of that thingamajigging. All right. All right, so the reason why I got to put a camera on is because if I turn it on without a camera, because it's balanced for a camera, it won't be happy. And because this is another camera and another lens, I got to rebalance it. So give me a second. All right. I'm not able to move the camera around, but what I will try to do, for those of you who don't know about these things, for balancing a gimbal, you can kind of see how if I let it go, the camera kind of does this. We don't want that. So what I got to do is move the camera forward a little bit. There we go. Cool. We're all good. All right, look at that. Balanced. Let's get this other one balanced. So for this, because it's leaning to the right or to the left, depending on if it's backwards for y'all, but it's leaning to the right. So what I got to do is move it to the left so that it doesn't do so much of that. Now, this is the thing that kind of sucks about the 3 is that it doesn't have, it gets sticky. Like it's not, when I say sticky, it's hard to move. It's a lot of friction. Good there. So lock that up. Cool. So let me go ahead and lock all of it back, and I'll show you what's so impressive about this right here, and what I mean by, they innovated a lot. So here it is. It's all locked. All that kind of stuff. Now, if I want to go ahead and start shooting, let me actually put it the right way. Turn it on, and it unlocks. That's the innovation of the goddamn century, bro. Like seriously, of this decade. Innovation of this decade is auto locking gimbal. This shit's dope. So DJI has really been innovating in their gimbal space as well as the drone space. And I know that they bought the IP of Hasselblad a few years ago. So, Hasselblad is now like a Chinese thing. Initially, I was thinking it was just for, brand recognition and all that kind of stuff. But now that I think about it, they've actually leveled up their camera game as a result of that. So there must have been some technology that they've been able to benefit from. To be honest, I didn't realize that Hasselblad was actually, I know they make cameras, but I didn't know they made their own sensors, or I don't know if they make their own sensors or not. Anyway, let's go back to here. So I'll read this. Now, because of the type of the camera, I imagine that it's for video, and I'll talk about it a little bit why after I read this. So it seems that the rumors may be true. Does not seem outside of DJI's wheelhouse, given all their experience with sensors, lenses, image processing, or image video processing, even Micro Four Thirds equipment. So I guess this is just someone saying they hope it'll be Micro Four Thirds. Micro Four Thirds is effectively half the size of a full frame sensor. So it's a crop factor of 2, essentially. And it's really good for video because, well, you can read the whole sensor really fast, so there's less rolling shutter, or at least there should be. The depth of field is not as shallow, which for video, I think is more important than it is for photography, because let's be real, in a video, you're trying to see the person in the environment that they're in, most likely, and you don't want it to just be like only their nose or only their eyelash in focus. You typically want the scene in focus. So having a smaller sensor enables you to do that while keeping your aperture, relatively the same. But yeah, this is actually kind of cool, I think. And I saw a video not long ago. Someone was talking about this. Let's see, DJI camera rumors.
Hi, folks. First of all,
oh shit, I forgot. I should have my headphones on. All right, let's turn down my system audio so it's not too loud.
well, Happy New Year, and I want to kick off this year with sharing a new DJI rumor. As you might remember, back in late summer, there was a rumor about a possible new DJI full-frame mirrorless camera, so a more classic kind of camera that DJI never really...
Let's see. Does he have like a... this looks... Yeah, so this is the Hasselblad system. I wanted one of these. I think it was the Hasselblad something C or something. Let me see. There's a reason why I didn't get it. It's not the cost. It's just a slow ass camera. Oh my God. It takes like 5 seconds to start up. Just like you turn on the power button and you're just waiting. It's like, okay. And then to operate it's just slow. It's too slow. I can't do it. It's too slow. But yeah, let me find out which Hasselblad it was because you can put that sensor on one of their older bodies, and I wanted that viewfinder where you can look down, you know, that classic style. Anyway, let me find this one right here, the CFV, I think, or the 100C. I think that's the one that I was looking at. Yeah, this one right here, where you can put this back plate on one of their old bodies. We have a camera store right down the street. I mean, literally is on the street. I just go down maybe like 4 minutes or so, 5 minutes. And there is a camera shop that sells old vintage Hasselblad bodies. And I was like, man, I could buy this body. They're expensive. They're not, I mean, but they're cheaper than what they were. It's like $2,000. These are all, of course, these are manual. They're not electronic. It's like $2,000. And I was like, all right, I can get this body, and then I can get this sensor, and I can just put it on the back, and then I can go around taking photos. Like y'all can't see me. Hold on. Let me stand back. I can go around taking photos like this, you know, like that. Look down. I got my viewfinder down there, and it's the actual scene. It's literally just like a reflection of reality. To me, that's kind of awesome because I started out with digital photography. I didn't start out with film, so. You know, to me, it's like, oh, it's a new thing. It's kind of cool to be able to see reality and not, you know, a fake version of reality to a screen. If you've owned a, what do you call that thing? The Apple Vision Pro, you would understand what I'm talking about, where it's like reality is better than virtual shit through a screen. All right, let's go back to here. Let's see. Oh, wow. It's actually not, 7,200 used. They hold their value. That's actually quite good, I guess. I recently bought a camera, and I know it's not going to hold its value. It's not the A7S III, which I don't know what these are worth anymore, but the A1 Mark II, I don't think it's really going to hold its value that well. I expect to lose about $1,000, $2,000 over the course of ownership if I end up selling it, which my track record of selling cameras is not the best. They're all here. I have too many cameras.
Here was that, according to the rumor, they would launch a more affordable full-frame camera that would be of great appeal for all current photographers and hybrid shooters. Also,
so he's saying it's going to be a full-frame camera. The rumor that I was looking at says it's going to be potentially a micro, or maybe they didn't say it was going to be a micro four thirds. Maybe what they're saying is they wanted to be a micro four thirds camera. No, I actually wouldn't be opposed to checking out micro four thirds system. I've heard that Panasonic does incredible video. Like they have really, really good video features in their camera. So maybe I'll look into that. Get a used micro four thirds body, or maybe get that old Blackmagic 4K, and I can use that as my stream camera. And then I guess I'll just, no, never mind. I have too many cameras.
Filmmakers, and this didn't happen, but the rumor was coming from trusted Japanese sources from other brands. They were afraid that DJI would do that. It didn't happen, and so I thought like maybe those sources or the brands that got that rumor, they got the wrong information. So I say, man, let's wait it out. Maybe there is something at the end of this story, and it's not really.
There's a lot of talking head in this. What is this? Okay, I was hoping there would be a potential like markup of what this thing looks like. Guess not. Okay.
Buying even old, 10-year-old G7 compact cameras. The Fuji X106, of course, is selling like.
What's crazy about the Fuji X106 is that I ordered mine the second that they announced it. I did not get mine until a month ago. In fact, I got two of them within a week apart. Not because I went out and got two of them within a week apart, but because I ordered one from one place, and then I'm like, wait, how is it back ordered within 10 seconds of me ordering? And then I went to the local camera store here like a month or two later and ordered it there. And they both showed up at the same time within a week of each other last month. And I didn't even open it. I was just like, I already knew I wasn't going to keep it because I had already bought or at least ordered the A1 Mark II, and I was like, I've already paid for it, and then that got back ordered. But turns out that was a lie. I actually got it early. I think I got it before it even came out, so I can't even edit the RAW files. The Lightroom didn't support it when I was shooting, so I was having to shoot JPEGs. I have a bunch of trash images that I can't really do much with. Well, they're not trash. It's just they're trash in the sense that I can't go and do the things that I would typically want to do with an image. It's kind of just I had to accept it. So it's fine. It's just I like to play around with stuff. You know, I like to mess up my images. I like to make them look crappy. Let me show you what I mean. Let me find a random image. I got to pull it off because this is my actual library. So I want to make sure that I don't show anything that y'all don't need to see. Nothing inappropriate. Don't worry. It's just you know, I have friends who may be in these. Oh, yeah. I'm glad I looked because there are people here. Yeah. So we're going to go to here. All right, look at that. And you see here, this is a HIF, right? I'm using HEIF or H, whatever the hell you call it. I'm using that. So if I wanted to come in and just jack up shit, if I'm like, you know what, for whatever reason, I want to see details up on the ceiling. I don't know why I would want to do that other than to screw up my image. But like, if I wanted to do it, it's not good. It's not really that great. I mean, it's better than other changes. Like if I were to come in here and try to change colors, no, it wouldn't look as great. Same with exposure. Like I'm not really getting additional detail. So let's say I keep this exposure here and I pull these highlights down. There's no detail coming here. This is just gone no matter what, right? It's just gone. If this were a RAW file, can I edit this now? I did just update Lightroom, so I think I should be able to edit these now. If I do it the RAW file, this is the same image, by the way, because I shoot both at the same time. So we do that and look at, oh my gosh, look at that. Lo and behold, there is actually information there I can recover. All right, so this is what I mean when I'm like JPEGs or HI, whatever heaps are trash. It's not that they're actually trash. It's just that I can't do the things I want to do. So therefore they're trash. They don't, yeah, that's it. No, I just want to be able to do stuff. Now, if it's just a look at, fine. Anyway, let's go back to here.
Hotcakes and then Rico and so forth. So there is a momentary hype. I don't know how long it will.
Yeah, this is not, I don't know. This is not what I was thinking it was going to be. I thought he was going to actually share some details about this DJI potential camera. Oh, wait, maybe it's using L mount?
Nice.
Are they using L mount? Okay, sure. You know what? I'm not going to say that I dislike L mount. I just wish that it was E mount. And it has nothing to do with E mount being better. It has everything to do with me already having thousands of dollars of glass. That's E mount. And I hate adapters because it lengthens the lens and makes it more front heavy. It upsets the balance. It makes it bigger. I don't like that.
In my opinion, if this would be a DJI compact camera with L mount.
Look, oh shit, you can see it. Y'all can see how slow it is. All right, look when she scrolls.
DJI.
Look at how long it takes to respond.
L mount.
Look at that. I couldn't do it. Like when I went to the store and they let me play with it for a while. I was just like, I can't. I just can't. I can't. I need my machine to at least be able to keep up with the speed of my thinking. So if I'm looking at something, I want to make some changes. I need I need the stuff to happen fast. No, I don't want to be menu diving. I don't want to be touching on a laggy ass screen and it takes like half a second for it to actually register the fact that I've swiped. I don't want that. And just looking how long you can see, I probably wasn't exaggerating when I said it takes about 5 seconds to start up, and that caught me off guard because most of my cameras start up instantly. Like my Fuji X100, instant. All of these Sony cameras that I got, instant. My Leica cameras that I got, instant. All of these DJI cameras that I have, they're not instant, but they're fast. Like, within a second or two. Like, But at least with the pocket, it makes sense that it takes more because it's a physical thing. It has to it has to turn on the gimbal. It has to unlock itself. It has to orient itself. And so that part, yes, it should take about a second or two. But with this Hasselblad, it shouldn't take that long.
A new DJI easy interface, instant connectivity, shareability of the images, probably even.
And yeah, I think this is the way that people would use this camera. So I'm just not the target audience for this particular camera. This seems like it's a camera that you put on a tripod and you probably have it in a studio environment or in some environment where you have a little bit more control over what's going on around you. Because, I mean, hell, I don't even think you could do a really fast shutter speed on here. Or maybe you can. I don't know what the sensor readout speed of this is. The other thing is this what do you call it? The autofocus. It wasn't as good as my Sony. It was kind of slow and it was missing a lot. Things that my Sonys they just work. All of my Sonys since my A7 IV, the A7 III was a little sus at times, but it was good for that time period of time, especially for me.
Simulation, it would be a hot seller. I know I'm dreaming, but we are getting this image of a mysterious new product from DJI, and so.
Do you think the mirrorless DJI is coming in 2025? Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. Here we do have a look. It's got a 49 millimeter front element. That means that if I were to buy this, whoa. It's a f1.4 35 mil lens. That means that it's the same focal length as my Fuji. So this would potentially compete with that. And it has a viewfinder. It looks like that has an optical viewfinder. That's not, that's you can see here that this is an optical viewfinder. So I wonder if they're doing something similar to what Fuji is doing, where they have a hybrid viewfinder where it's an optical, the OVF as well as the EVF, as well as the little digital prism that they have. If you don't know about it, I can show it to you maybe. Let me try. Maybe I can. So for this, I had to bring out the Fuji Summilux. Oh shit, they're using L mount. Oh, if this turns out to be the same lens, like what if this lens is just a rebranded Leica lens, a rebranded Summilux lens, I will buy this on site. And if this camera body is effectively a M9 that's just been, rebadged, yes, I am buying on site. It doesn't matter. I'm just buying it. If I can save money, I'm assuming it's going to be cheaper than the Leica system. I don't really want a red dot on my camera. One of the reasons why I don't take the ones I have out now, because I don't like advertising the fact that I have certain things that people desire. All right, let me share this. So it's going to focus. Okay. Yeah. All right, cool. It's focusing. Cool. This is a little harder than it seems because, so you see when I put my hand here, you can see through, right? Now, you saw what just happened? It just turned black. So if I move my hand, you can't see my hand anymore. See that? And then if I do that, oops. And then here, see? And then if I do it again, it's not doing it. There's a little prism in here. I got to put it on my eye. It's hard to do it when I'm looking at y'all. Oh, it's not working. What the fuck? Did someone change my settings on my camera? I would be pissed. I did let someone use my camera. Preston. Did you change my shit? What the fuck? Oh, come on, man. We got beef if it was you, Preston. Okay, all right. I need to reconfigure my camera so that when I'm out shooting and I'm expecting myself to just work, it works the way that I expect. Normally what I expect to happen is when I push through this way, there's a prism that's supposed to come out. So now I get to Get that set up. I wonder if it's just broken because it's not even letting me go into my settings. Normally on these cameras, on the Fuji cameras, and this is one of the things that I love about it, is if you want to go into your menu, I'll show it to you. So say for instance, you want to customize a button. You're going to focus, maybe. Give me a second. I did say I was going to change my camera settings and I never did it. I'll do it now. Okay, I saw what the problem is. I turned the setting down to low so that it changes the subject slower. And I realized that I did that on purpose. So we'll just go back here and you'll notice that if I press and hold a button, so I'm going to press and hold this thing right here, this little thing, dial. If I press and hold it, it will eventually go into the settings so I can change it. You don't have to be able to read what it says. Just know that it takes you to the menu where you can change that particular setting. And I like that. I wish that Sony did that. With Sony, if I wanted to change what a particular button does, I can't just press and hold it and then it takes me into the menu. I have to go into my menu settings, scroll through a bunch of menus, find the right button, and then I can do the thing. And that takes a long time. Leica also does what Fuji does. So, you know, in my opinion, Leica and Fuji are much better user experiences than my Sony stuff. But I know how to use the Sony stuff and I have buttons and dials for everything, so I don't have to menu dial as much. Now, it does take me a long time to set up my camera, but you only have to do it once. Anyway, back to here.
Minimalistic design.
I will, yes, this will be a on-site buy. Now, there are some things that I don't know if I dislike it or not, but I don't like the fact that this dial up here, these two dials, they're just on the top and there's no protection. So I can imagine when I'm just throwing this in and out of a bag, you know, this right here can get caught up on stuff. Whereas on here, because this part right here is raised to be at the same height as this, it offers protection for this knob here. And it's less likelihood that this is going to get bumped because, you have all of this protecting it. So I kind of don't appreciate this, but I still like the way it looks and I would still buy it just to, just be like, oh yeah, I have DJI's first camera, Hasselblad camera with this lens here. And given that this has that the focus tab at the bottom, similar to the Summilux, it's making me think that maybe this is a rebranded Summilux lens. It's aspherical. So this one right here doesn't say whether or not it's aspherical, but I would assume it is. They don't say anything about the coating, but maybe he's going to talk about that.
Similar to Leica. Of course, it has to be kind of different and not a copycat of Leica, but I would love this to be the direction where they are going. So I'm now dreaming that this camera is...
Okay, so I guess that's it. All right. Well, obviously I didn't actually watch the video, but that's okay. I don't have to watch the video on before I share it here. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. There was it's not as much rumor as I was hoping. I was hoping to get details and information and potentially, is it like, when is it coming out? What part of the year is it coming out? close this. I think I made my point already. We will share. Back it up. I don't give a shit. Oh, here is Discord. Perfect. All right. What's next on the Discord? Oh, yeah. So this is what is this? An X post. Is possibly one of the stupidest things that I've seen. And it makes it clear that there are certain groups of people or certain factions of people within our country who don't necessarily want what's best for our country. They just want to win or be right, which is disgusting to me. And I think you will understand what I'm getting at when I read this. So this is from some dude named Shay Jordan Smith. He's a political loudspeaker, progressive pundit. I don't know who this person is. I just saw it. I've never heard of him in my life. But let's go through and see what he has to say. And y'all can tell me whether or not this is the stupidest thing you've heard or not. If Joe Biden really wanted to shake things up, he could drop a political nuke by resigning on January 5th. My question already is like, why would a president want to shake things up in a nation that he's supposed to be serving? Already, this is a bad face, but let's keep going. Here's the play. Kamala Harris becomes the 47th president of the United States. So this seems like a person who is they just still haven't accepted. There's this, there's the stages of grief, right? I don't think that he's gotten to acceptance yet, but let's keep going. Boom. She gets lifetime Secret Service protection. That just sounds like more tax dollars are being wasted. That's what it sounds like. It has nothing to do with her being Kamala or what. It has everything to do with why should someone who hasn't served our country in that function, like who was elected, why should we as citizens, maybe he could just be broke, I don't know, but I pay a lot in taxes. So why should we as citizens, why should I pay all this money to ensure that someone who I didn't vote for and no one else voted for to get Secret Service protection? Like, no, I'm good. Anyway, let's keep going. All right, boom. She gets lifetime Secret Service protection, and the MAGA world's precious 47 merch instantly becomes thrift store junk. So this right here he just wants to attack other people, I guess. I don't know. For what it's worth, I give zero fucks about either one of y'all. So if you're a MAGA person, zero fucks. If you are a woke person, zero fucks. I don't care. What I do care about is this right here is this is bitch behavior. Just straight up. This is what I would expect from a bitch. It's just, oh yeah, like I'm going to do this thing to spite you, not to actually, solve any problems or move forward. It's just, I'm doing this to spite you. It's very effeminate energy, which, the dude, he got his head to the side. So maybe, Then a frantic rush to push out 48 gear, maybe even with 47s crossed out for the last minute desperation aesthetic. So I guess he's assuming that maybe these people care about the 47. I don't know. Maybe y'all do. If you're one of those MAGA people, maybe 47 is meaningful somehow. I don't see why it would be, but sure. This next post. By the 25th Amendment, President Kamala Harris gets to nominate a new vice president with approval from Congress. Okay. And who does she pick? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? The person who she's not statesman. There is a reason why she's a member of Congress in the House. There is a difference between those people. The difference is like the difference between someone who's only went to high school and someone who's went and done their graduate degree and they have a research thesis. They've gone off and had a solid career. They've actually contributed. Like the difference between a House member and a Senate is very great. So she's not even, in my opinion, she's maybe a C or D tier politician when it comes to level of just what has she done? And not even just what has she done in her function, but just she's just not impressive. Maybe she's impressive to some other people who haven't accomplished anything in life, but for me, I'm just like, she's not impressive. So I don't know why this is the person. I'm pretty sure there are other Democratic Congress people. It would be a senator if I was going to do it. But yeah, now Republicans are trapped. Okay, they have to confirm AOC because without a sitting vice president, there's no one to confirm the electoral votes on January 6th. No VP, no certified president. Their hands are tied tighter than their moral compass. And some people have added community notes. We can go through that in a second. So, I mean, honestly, it just sounds like this person doesn't understand how our government works. We do have a command chain. I learned about this in grade school. And I say grade school, I'm talking about junior high. So maybe he's forgotten it. Maybe he forgot. I don't know. Let's give benefit of the doubt. AOC then does her constitutional duty, certifies the results, and solidifies the Republican win. Harris avoids having to read out her own loss on live TV, resigns on January 7th, cackling all the way out of the White House, leaving AOC as the 48th president of the United States. Like, do you hear it? Like, this is what I mean. You can tell that these people, they don't really care about what's best for our country. And now, it's pulling back the veil because I'd like to get benefit of the doubt. I've always been of the mindset that, both of these parties, and there's other parties too, but in my mind, most of these parties, they want what's best for our country. They just disagree in how we get there. That's how I've always looked at it. But when I'm starting to see rhetoric like this, not even rhetoric, but just like what this dude is saying, when I start seeing stuff like this, it makes me wonder, do all people want what's best for this country? Are they, I don't know. What's interesting is that it's always folks who've never been anywhere who like to talk the most shit about how bad, or it's just interesting. Like, if you go in, I don't know, maybe they say that ignorance is bliss. And unfortunately, I'm not ignorant like most of my people, like this guy here, obviously. All right, let's go. Of course, Congress wouldn't confirm anyone AOC nominates for VP, but who cares? She'd have a field day running the executive branch, firing off executive orders like political fireworks for 2 weeks. This would obliterate MAGA morale and throw their merch operation into chaos. Sure, it also energizes their base, but let's face it, the Democrats could use a master class in 21st century political strategy. It's time to stop bringing white papers to a culture war. What? This so-called culture war that people are talking about didn't start until 2008. I know because I was here. People weren't talking about the things that they've been talking about now. Like all of this agenda crap that I have had to deal with for the past almost decade. Or maybe more. I can't even do math. Yeah, 2008? Yeah. Actually, yeah. More than a decade now. Almost 15 years. Right? All of that started in 2008 with the election of one Barack Obama. And that was something that was strange for me because, first of all, I don't actually vote, so like I don't really give a shit. Like I said, I don't care. I am probably more aligned with what you would call a capitalist than you, right? Like I need to make sure that I have means everywhere. Like I don't need to be tied or just aligned to just this place. So I have, kind of like with other folks who have means, like if things don't work out well here, we'll go somewhere else. It's some of y'all who will be stuck here, which I don't know, that the irony isn't lost. It's like you want to destroy the place where you can't get away from. That's interesting. It's very interesting. Anyway, the culture war is like, in my opinion, that didn't start until 2008 when people started to vote along identity lines. I went to college and, most of my peers, all of my friends, like a lot of them were saying that they were going to vote for Obama because he was black. He's the first black president. So I'm going to vote for Obama. In my mind, I'm like, that's the dumbest reason to vote for someone. And also what's crazy is that it wasn't just, I didn't go to a majority black school. I think it was like 3% black. And out of that 3%, I would say 60% of those were from Africa. And I don't consider Africans black. I consider them where they come from. For instance, if you are from Nigeria, I don't consider you black. I consider you either Nigerian or your tribe that you identify as. So as you're Igbo or Hausa or the other one. If I forgot, I'm sorry, I don't know all of it. But like, that's what I go off. If you're Ghanaian, like whatever tribe you are, I'm going to go off of that. Because I think it's disrespectful to remove your heritage like what was done to us and my ancestors here in America. The reason we are called black was mostly to strip us of our heritage. I don't like to be called black. I would like to know where my heritage is, but I don't know that. That was lost, and we can't do anything about it. So what I can do is I can make sure that I don't continue to perpetuate that bullshit that was perpetuated on us. So when people come from Africa, I have enough respect to realize that, no, you are not black. You have a heritage. You know where you come from. I know where you come from, and I appreciate it. So it's like, of course, I'm going to call you what you are. Anyway, so in America, we're all black. We're all the same. So we were 3% black at my school. So there wasn't many of us to begin with. But we did have a lot of, white folks, obviously, and Hispanics and Asians. And when I say Asian, I mean all of Asia, the continent. I know some people don't understand geography in our country. It's very apparent that we have a lot of ignorance in our country. But when I say Asia, I'm talking about Asia, the continent, which means we had people from Russia. We had people from Japan, from Korea, from China, from Taiwan, from Philippines, which is Southeast Asia, technically. We had people from India. We had people from the Middle East, from what's the place? Gosh, it wasn't Saudi, Lebanon. We had folks from Israel, right? Like, I don't know if Israel is technically on the Asian continent. It may not be, but all those other places I listed off, they were there. We had people from South America, so it was pretty eclectic. We were international kind of thing, and many of my liberal classmates, they were, oh yeah, we're gonna vote for him because he's black and the black president. And I'm just like, I mean, that's cool, great, all. I'm happy that you're willing to, but my issue with it was, why are you voting for that just because he's black? You don't even know any black people. It's like the only black person you know is me. And I'm like, if you think that I'm representative of all black people, I hate to tell it to you, I'm not. In my experience, and I've been I didn't go to all white schools when I was younger. I actually the opposite. Kind of is almost an anomaly that I know how to speak, I know how to read, I know how to write, I know how to do math, and I know how to do it very well. Though those stereotypes about how Asians are really good at math. Well, for whatever reason, how come I score high? And not all of them, but there are many of them who I score higher and I'll obliterate them. They don't even compete with me. Like, they don't even compete. So it's like the stereotypes, all these stereotypes. I'm like, I am not representative of my folks. There are other people who are like me, but unfortunately, we're not the majority, and we are not the ones who get promoted or uplifted within our community. What I've noticed is that it's always the worst of us who we promote within my community, which is interesting. It's very, it reminds me of the bad behaviors that the other half, I'm going to call it the other half from me. It's kind of the same behavior that they engage in, where it's almost like they are sabotaging one another. Where they're like they're recommending to their friends or to their siblings. I'm not to the siblinghood. They're representing to them and saying, you should go do these bad things, and it's really sabotaging. Right? They're saying, oh yeah, you should really go out and have a hoe phase. It's like, okay, all right. Anyway, let's. People agree. Honestly, brilliant move. Would be hilarious. Tell me you're broke without telling me you're broke. Who in their right mind is going to be like, you know what? I just paid $200,000 in taxes this year, in income tax. It'll be really, really fun and hilarious if like we just go and just waste all of the money that was stolen. That's how I look at it. You may look at it as like, no, fuck that. I look at it as it's stolen. We're stealing my money, and then you're like, oh yeah, let's just go fuck it off. That'll be hilarious. It's like, really? Evil only destroys. that's kind of how I'm looking at this. None of this is what they're saying is going to build anything or going to improve anything. All it's going to do is contribute to the further devolvement. Is that a word? Devolving of the situation here in our country. We lack unity, and it's only getting worse. And I imagine if we continue importing folks who don't share our values, pretty soon this won't be America anymore. And I'm like, sure, you can say name, but it's like America is it's a mindset. You don't know this until you leave America, which most of you have not. I can prove that. You just go look at how many people in America have passports. And, whenever you go to another country, you check in. So we know where people are going. So we know how many Americans go to what countries. And you may be surprised to know that most Americans don't go anywhere. Most Americans rarely leave their state. But that's not just Americans. That's what most people on Earth. Most people on Earth rarely leave where they live. Now, other countries, other nations, they may go to other nations around them because their countries are like little tiny states. So it's easy. You drive 2 hours in another country. So they'll do that kind of stuff, but it's rare for them to do overseas type of travel because it's expensive. I'm not gonna lie. It can be expensive. Not just expensive in cost, but you also have to have the time. So that means that you have to have the type of occupation that allows you to go off in other places and spend a week, 2, maybe 3 or 4, not working. All right. Anyway, that's what he had to say. I'm curious. What do y'all have to say about that? Any thoughts? None. Just me. I'm going to move on. All right. And I got this other one. Let's see what this other one is. Oh yeah. This is a good one. Yes. This is actually the one that I feel a certain kind of way about. I have thoughts on this. So I saw this the other day, and this is a UCLA physics professor. All right. So we're going to listen to what he has to say.
Daniel, and I'm an astrophysicist at UCLA. Why am I standing behind train tracks in a storage unit? Because recently I was forced to move out of my 1-bedroom apartment and move all of my stuff into these storage units due to poor pay at UCLA. Despite having a PhD in physics and more than 10 years of expert level experience in my field, my university leadership decided to pay me so poorly that I can no longer afford to even live near where I work. This is why it should matter to you and why you shouldn't listen to the haters who are saying that I should have done more research. Number one, I did do a lot of research, and I spent 10 months looking for a job that paid enough. The universities and the corporations have been able to collude with each other to pay physicists like myself so poorly that we're forced to go into immoral industries. They want physicists to be paid poorly so that we can be forced to work for weapons manufacturers and create bombs. Nobody wants to do it, but that's their tactic. They know that if they create a situation where the smartest in our society are the most desperate, they can use our knowledge for evil means. I refuse. I will not work as a weapons manufacturer, and I will not stop until we win this fight for fair pay. I'm asking for $100,000 a year immediately. It's a totally reasonable request. Please subscribe and follow my channel for more. Thank you and God bless. Hi, my name.
All right. I feel like I should what's his channel? We should figure out who his channel is. Let's go. I'm going to share the link with you all to his channel. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and subscribe. Gotta support OG. Throw it in here into the chat. So I have some thoughts on that because I see that. How is it the case? Let's go look at some things. UCLA. We're going to go look at some things right quick. Tuition and fees. Okay. So it's $21,000 a year for California residents and $36,000 a year for non-California residents. And this is just tuition. Oh, or it says and fees. Okay, never mind. And this is for undergrad. But there's also graduate programs. You got to keep that in mind. So let's look at the graduate programs as well. Oh, fortunately, they have a lot here. Perfect. Tuition, graduate student fee, non-resident. Okay, so it's about the same. So it's about 12,000. Let's go to the full price. So it's 21,000, 36,000 for graduate students. Oh, it's the same. That's cool. That's actually no, that's not good. Is it? Shouldn't masters be cheaper than your bachelor's because it's less? Never mind. Anyway, you go to school and you're going to pay. I'm going to round this up to 30 to 40,000 because it's easier for me to do math that way. So you're going to pay them $160,000 for your bachelor's degree, and you're going to pay them about $80,000 for your master's degree if you were to go there. How many students does UCLA have? UCLA student body size. Wait, what? Shit. Fuck. Wow. Oh my gosh. I didn't know schools were that big. Okay. They have 48,000 students. Let's do some math. 48,000 times 160, because you know, four. Oh, actually, no, 33. So I'm sorry, we didn't even make this 33,000. So 33,000 because that's undergraduates times 160,000. Oh my God, this is a number. That's a number, all right. That's a big number. And they can't afford to pay this man $100,000 in Los Angeles, California, which that may sound like a lot of money to some folks, but in Los Angeles, California, I don't know. Yes, but I found that UCLA received $1.72 billion in grant funding, and they're getting grants. And they probably have an endowment where they're probably not being charged any type of tax on that endowment on the gains that they're getting. I'm pretty sure, because I think is UCLA a private school or is it public? Do they have an endowment, or it's just I don't know how California schools work. I don't live in California. But let's see if they have an endowment. Maybe they don't, or maybe they do. Oh, they do. Oh shit. So are they a public school or are they private? I thought UCLA was a public school. I didn't know public schools could have an endowment, but all right, I've learned something. So they have a $7.7 billion endowment. I wonder if they have, normally they're supposed to show, yeah, here we are. Yeah, here we go. So they got it. I'm gonna read the whole thing. Net position compromising total assets in excess of total liabilities and deferred inflow of resources increased by $572 million. Total assets increased 11%. Total liabilities decreased 7%. So they're paying less in interest. So this is a lot of tax-free shit that they're getting. That's nice. Revenue in the form of donor contributions, $589 million. Gift fund donations. Gift fund donation. Fun fact about gifts to a university: if you don't want to pay taxes, you can write it off. Because the way I look at it is like, you can give the money to the government or you can give it to someone else. If you give it to someone else, at least something comes from it. If you give it to the government, they're just going to waste and squander it, because that's what people do with not their money. It's just how it works, unfortunately. Non-operating revenue, private gifts, permanent. Okay, so they're making money from their endowment. They get tuition fees. They get grant funding. Why is it that they can't pay their physics professor? Let's be real. Like, I know some of you may not respect physicists. It just, in our country, it's you have to be stupid to not understand everything that we take for granted today started out with physics research. It also goes into chemistry too. Like chemistry, physics, they're very tightly, they go together, at least in my mind. They're all the same thing. They're studying the same things, but just different aspects of it. Physics is most about motion. Chemistry is most about reactions. That's how I've always understood it. And it's kind of sickening that we have this, and what he said, and maybe this is true, and I would believe it because it makes sense. If you could collude, state, because let's be real, like universities are basically state, right? They're state. So if you can collude with state and private enterprise and say, hey, we want our physicists to work in our defense industries, building weapons that kill people, or I guess building things that defend us from other people who build weapons that kill people. So in order to incentivize this, let's make sure that we don't pay them in private industry. That's not anything to do with weapons. Let's make sure we don't pay them enough in universities. So that way they are forced to work for our private war making machine. To me, that's kind of disgusting. And unfortunately for this guy, if he were like me, I would take the opposite approach, knowing that I would be like, okay, I will go work for a foreign country's defense industry. How about that? I'm one of those kind of people. It's like, you can pay me here, I'll go get paid somewhere else. And it's like, but not enough people are like me, which is probably a good thing, that most people aren't like me, because most of these things that these politicians are doing just wouldn't work. A lot of the stuff works because, you're not willing to just go around and be uncomfortable and be like, all right, it's fine, I'll do it another way. All right, let's go on. Please go and support this guy. If he can't make $100,000 teaching our future, like we always, man, this is what sickens me. I'm about to go off on another tangent. Anytime anything bad, think about all of the laws that are proposed to us. This is for your safety. Think about the children. We're doing this to protect the children. Our children are our future. They're the most important thing. Like we say all of these words, but when it comes time to back it up with action, I don't see it. If we really value our children and we say that they are the most important assets in our nation, then why are we unwilling to invest in their education and their well-being and making sure that they grow up well-rounded and exposed to, to like all of the different ideas that, that we've been contending with? How come that doesn't happen? How come, education isn't free? Like if me getting educated benefits America so much, which the amount of taxes I've paid in my career, I paid over 1.7 million in taxes. Just think about that. I'm not that old. I've only been working since I was 14. I think my first paycheck was 14. I'm going to be 36 this year. How in the fuck is it the case that, if I am going to be a contributing citizen to this country, why do you want to saddle me with debt in order to do that? And that's the thing that's kind of backwards to me. It's like, why do Americans have to pay to go to college? Can we take some of that money that we waste on our defense industry and say, you know what, let's just take 5% of all of the waste that we do that, and let's just make it to where we subsidize education costs. Let's make it affordable, because it used to be affordable until the federal government got involved. And that's the thing that's not lost on me, but it seems to be lost on most people, is that the cost of things don't rise until the government gets involved. Before government financial aid, where the government basically subsidizes everyone and says that we will guarantee these loans, before that, colleges had to charge market rates because people just wouldn't pay for it. But now, someone like me, and I'm using me as an example, I didn't grow with a lot of money. So it's like someone like me who has no money, who is like, literally, I come from like we have negative money, right? We're in debt, right? Someone who's already in debt can go at the age of 17, apply for these government loans, because that's when I had to apply for my loans. I was 17. So I can go and apply for these loans to go to school to get all this debt. at 17 so that I can become a contributing member of our society. Now, of course, I chose to go to a private school. That's not lost on me. So my tuition could have been much cheaper. But I want to say when I started school, my tuition was $32,000. That was everything, which looking back, I'm like, it's kind of cheap now. I'm kind of glad I got it. But like, it was 32 grand, $32,000 a year. That's a lot. If you go back 10 years before, the tuition wasn't $32,000 a year. And let me go look to see what my school costs these days. This is where I went to undergrad, for what it's worth. Yeah, I wasn't this. I definitely wasn't one of these, but they do give generous, like they gave me a Walton grant. They gave me all kinds of things. So my education, the cost was $160K, around that range. It was actually like 157. I'm rounding up. It was 160K about. However, my cost that I came out of school with was I'm going to use only $85,000. So effectively, I was able to go and get my undergrad bachelor's, BS degree and CS for $85,000. I know it's a lot, but like but let's just keep in mind that it costs more now. So, I graduated on like 85K in debt, which not that big of a deal. I'm not that much in debt. I paid most of it off. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna pay most of it off. And then when the interest rates went up, I was like, you know what? I'm going to not pay extra. I'm just going to pay the rate because it's so cheap. I think my payment is like $150 a month. It's ridiculous. Because I only have 2 loans outstanding. I paid off the other 13. So I only got 2 more left to go. They'll be paid off maybe in 2 years, maybe 3. But yeah, this idea that kids are our future, but we don't invest in them. We put them in debt. And I'm starting to think that the reason why this is done is to control you. If you're in debt, you are forced to go and do things that, may be immoral, or maybe you would rather not do, to make sure that this American empire keeps going. But I think that that's slowly shifting because, we already see it in student body population. Actually, let's go back to Trinity. I want to see if they're showing these numbers now, because I would imagine that the split is different now. Where would this be? Would it be Mid Tigers? Let's see, diversity maybe. It'll be under diversity. I don't really care about diversity, but I imagine the thing that I'm looking for would be under diversity. No, we'll say. Gosh, what was it called? I don't remember these things. I'm not interested in DIE. I'm more interested in what is the makeup of the student body. Maybe I'll just do that, student body. Oh yeah, it's flipped now. Okay, that's what I want to see, but I want to see it from their data. I don't want to see it from just Google. I don't accept that. Okay, this is maybe what I'm looking for. No, it's not. No, it's not what I'm looking for. Huh. Oh. Mid Tigers? I don't know. I guess I can just accept it. I don't really want to. I don't really like just accepting things. It's not a thing I just do. It's just accept shit. Student, man, Google is so trash these days. All right, fine, whatever. We'll just have to accept this for now. Take it with a grain of salt. But as of right now, the gender split at Trinity is now 55% women, 45% men. Let's see what it was in 2007, which is my year. Because I know they used to show that back then. Whoa, what the hell? Students, oh, okay, students of color, that bullshit. I hate that term. You're not a person of color. What the hell? We're all people of color. We all have a color. What the fuck? And no, if you're someone who's like, I'm a person of color just like you, it's like, no, we not the same. I'm sorry, not sorry. No, I'm not in a group with you. You and others can be people of color. I'm going to say, fuck people of color. I'm not one of them. I'm a Black American. Y'all can be people of color. Try to Google this chart, 20 years of price changes in the United States. Okay, 20 years of price changes in the USA. Oh, you're not able to leave links, are you, Darius? I wonder, you know what? You've been here a few times. Remind me in the future, like if it seems like I'm just doing one of my not doing shit streams. I want to see if there's a way where I can enable certain people to like post certain things. You know, someone like yourself, where if you have a link or something, if you want me to go take a look at it, you can do it. Let me find a chart, I guess. Your average price data, is this what you're talking about? This is from our BLS. And it's 2004, 2005. And you see it's cyclical, which is normal. Most of these things are seasonal. But what's important, and I don't think I can do it with this, but we're more interested in the trend line. So it's going from here to here. It's almost double. I would say this is around, 73%. And then this right, or I'm sorry, 8 to 73. So it's at like 60, 65 or something like that. 65% increase. The other chart. Hold on, let me find it then. Is it the BLS data, or is it? Do you know which agency I should look at? I'm not sure which other chart. Unless, let me come back here. Maybe there is another chart here. Try to use Google Images. Okay. Oh, this one right here. Okay. College and tuition fees went up around 200%. In 20 years. Man, we need to see what it is before 2000. What I want to see, the first one. All right, hold on, let me go back then. What I want to see is since 1970. That's what I'm more interested to see. I am willing to put money that it's a parabolic, it's a quadratic explosion. I'm willing to put money that it's a quadratic explosion. It's not just this right here. It's almost like when you zoom in into a function, it becomes straight. I'm sorry, I might be too abstract there. Tell me if y'all don't understand that. Let me know, and I will try to demonstrate that, like what I mean. My calculator's not charged, but I can maybe find something on the internet that allows me to play with a function like a quadratic function, and you'll see what I mean. Where if you zoom in close enough, it becomes a straight line. Which, by the way, we can take advantage of this fact in a lot of math and engineering. Never mind. We're getting into the weeds and things that we don't need to talk about right now. But yeah, then we come back here and make it bigger so we can look at it. Okay, so we are indexing at the 0 here. So this is our origin, and then everything goes up. So hospital services have gone up by a factor of 220%. So that's actually that's almost 3.5 times. That's almost 3.5x. I'll say it again. If it's 200, that's almost 3.5x. College tuition and fees. Yeah, this is 2x. Yeah, it's almost 2 times more expensive. Oh no, more than 2x. This is almost 3 times more expensive. I lied. Yeah, this is almost 3 times more expensive. Textbooks. Why are textbooks more? Yeah, I don't. Why are textbooks more? And why do you need new textbooks? I bought old textbooks when I was in college. Fortunately, I didn't buy them. My grandpa did. They were expensive. That was the first year of college was my first and last time purchasing books from the bookstore, even though I bought mostly used books. For my first semester in college, my book costs were $960. $960. This is no engineering. I was engineering and I was dual computer science. And I think I also started my music stuff too. I was planning to do a minor in music. So it's like I did a lot of hours, but even then, like $960. And it's so much that I remember it to this day. I remember it to this day. I bought the books in September of 2007, and I was just like, well, I don't. It was me and my grandpa. Like, I didn't buy them, but it's like I remember seeing the price. I was like, it's like so much money. Yeah. So you're like, you better get your education. You're like, you better study the cost of these books. But that was my first and last time buying books from the bookstore, even though they were mostly used. From then on, I started buying the international books, or I would just I would buy the book and then sell it, or I would rent the book, because Chegg, I think that was new at that time. Chegg had just came out, so I started renting books, and once I found out you can go international and get the books for a fraction of the cost, I'd get those. They have the same information. It's interesting how over the past 20 years, university tuition fees have skyrocketed, making higher education increasingly expensive. At the same time, the cost of technology has significantly decreased, making gadgets and tech services more accessible and affordable. Well, the reason why the cost of university has gone up is the demand for it has increased. And not only has the demand for it increased, the amount of money that people can pay, and I'm using can in air quotes, can pay, has also increased. In the past, before FAFSA, someone like myself with no real means, maybe my grandpa could have paid for it. Like, I don't know if he would, or actually, I think he probably would have. Or I don't know, maybe some of our family friends who also they do okay. They probably maybe would have helped, because they did have some impact in me becoming a little. I don't know if you become bright, but like I remember being quizzed and all this kind of stuff on all of our rides to different places. And when I say rides, let me give you an idea of what a ride is. So imagine that you live in the city called Houston, and every summer or so you have to go to your different, the company's different HQs around the United States. So one of the HQs is in Clearwater. Clearwater? Is it clean? No, I think it's Clearwater. No, it's not that. Lenore, Holmes, Clear. Is it Tampa? It's in the Tampa region. I don't know. I don't know the region. It was a kid, but we would come out here, right? So they have HQ out here. There was I think we went out into Pensacola at some point to do something with Orlando, Miami, out in Colorado, up here, like all these places. So we take the bus. This trip is like 2 or 3 days to get to the destination. We're at the destination for a few days, and of course, I'm with him and his wife and his children, and I'm hanging out with them. She's a professor. I think she was the dean of the university here of St. Thomas. I don't know if she was the dean at that time, but she became the dean. So during these trips, these multi-week, I'm just hanging out with them. I'm being quizzed. I am being asked to do math type stuff in my head. Like I am told that they were giving me high school level stuff. I don't know that because I was a kid. I don't actually know. But that's kind of what I credit to me knowing how to do stuff. At least I think I like to give credit to that. I don't think it's just a natural innate ability. I think it was just, you know, if you value that type of thing and you started young and you get people learning how to use their mind because it's like a muscle, you know, over time it's compounded. You know, it's like compound interest. It's compound growth. So maybe that's what I think. You know, I think it was that. Oh, you know, tangent. Let's go off to this chart again. See if there's anything else. Child care and nursery school medical care services. Interesting that these are going up because the birth rate is going down. I would expect that these costs would also go down because demand is going down. So there must be some other reason why these costs are going up over time beyond inflation. And the reason why I'm saying beyond inflation is because if we go from 1998 to 2018, I don't know if we've experienced this amount of inflation, although I do understand that inflation is compounded. That's what I think a lot of people don't understand. So if you have a 2% inflation, that's not a linear growth curve. We present it as if it's linear, but you have to actually understand that 2% of 2% of 2%, well, it's actually not 2%. It's going to be 1.02% times the thing raised to the thing to some, however many, whatever your period is, right? So if you have like 4 or 5 years, it'll be raised to the 5. What you're really experiencing is compound growth, interest, inflation. That's really what it is. So I don't even think when you actually do the math, I don't even think it comes to here. So this is beyond inflation. So what's causing these things to increase at a faster rate than inflation? That's my question. I don't know. And it's not just these things. I'm mostly concerned with this right here, childcare and nursery school. That's the part where I'm like, no, our birth rate has gone down. It's insane. Let me show USA birth rate. See that right here? Like it's going down. But I guess this was from the 90s, so it hasn't gone down much. So in the 90s, we were at 2.08, and currently we're at 1.6. No, that's down. Yeah, we're still down. So I don't understand, or I'm not sure what can cause this to go up. Average hourly earnings has gone up, but not anywhere near as fast as anything else. And food and housing, fortunately, has stayed below your salary, but they are lockstep. That's what I'm saying. That looks lockstep to me. Except for this one time where food costs went down. What was this, 2008? Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it was. Like that's probably the time I was alive during 2008, if it's not obvious. Yeah, so things went down a little bit and then we are still up. So what you should see is that even if your salary is increasing, it doesn't matter if the cost of everything else increases. And I think that's a point that's lost on a lot of people. Too many people have just low thinking skills. I'll say it that way. They have low thinking skills where they'll be like, oh, higher number means that I'm better off. It's like, no, actually. You could be better off if the things around you just cost less, right? Like imagine if your house only costs $100,000. You don't need to go and earn $200,000 a year to purchase a house. Like you only need to earn maybe $60,000 a year. See, like if food only costs what it should cost, you know, which is a few bucks, you don't need to go and earn $200,000 a year. You could just earn $60,000, $70,000 a year and be okay. How do I know this? Well, when I was a kid, $60,000 was considered a very respectable salary. Like that was doing well. $80,000 is like, oh my gosh, like you can go live in a really nice neighborhood and $100,000. That's where this whole six figures BS. It didn't actually come from here. I think it was in the 80s, back when $100,000 actually bought you something. But people, they get in their idea and they get this idea in their head that, oh yeah, six figures, without realizing that six figures, since it's another order of magnitude higher than 5 figures, that the range within 6 figures is also that much larger, right? Like 6 figures is 100,000 to 999,000. So and people have got in their head that 6 figures, that 100,000, is the same thing as it was in the 80s. When in reality, if you want to adjust for inflation, you need to be earning about $400,000 a year to be considered a 6-figure earner from when that term was defined. But we have too many, obviously our education in our country, people have gotten dumber in our country. So unfortunately, they don't know that. They can't reason about that, which is interesting. I just watched Idiocracy last night, by the way. It was a really good movie. It was funny. Any of you all seen that? New cars. Wow, new cars have mostly stayed the same and tracked with inflation. I don't really. Did they? Hmm. 18. 991.2 GT3 MSRP. Okay, $146,000. This was in 2018. It's not that long ago. Let's see what the new 992 2025 cost. Okay, oh yeah, right. 140 to 240. That's $100,000 increase. This data, I don't know if I trust this data anymore. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. It only goes to 2018. I was literally about to close and be like, I don't trust this shit. I'm like, inflation, like the price of the cars I've been seeing. I'm like, I was talking to my mom earlier today and telling her how a piece of shit Jeep Grand Cherokee is almost $100,000 right now. $100,000 for a Jeep Grand Cherokee. I don't care if it's the top trim level. The top trim level of a Jeep Grand Cherokee should not be $1 over $50,000. But here in 2025, they're almost $100,000. If you want to get a Jeep Wagoneer, I think you're going to be looking at over. Let's see, Wagoneer. The Jeep that wasn't what they cost now. Don't look at the MSRP. MSRP is one thing. Dealer market adjustments, is another thing. So they're selling them for a premium. You can't even trust the price as MSRP because you can't go to a dealership and purchase something at the MSRP. At least I can't. Or maybe I can. I don't know. Maybe they'll be nice to me for whatever reason. But yeah, when I go to there's a Jeep dealership right there. When you go there, you look at the stickers, you don't see anything that's 60. Everything is 110, 115. I'm like, for a Jeep? I discovered that I'm broke. That's what I decided. I decided that 2025 is going to be the year of spite and brokenness. So I am broke and spiteful now. I'm broke on principle. I can't afford shit. Can't even afford to pay attention anymore. All right, let's go to this next thing. What else did I have? Is this the same thing? Oh, it's the same thing. Never mind. Let me go to the other one. And I also have notes in my Discord for what I wanted to say. So if you happen to pop into Discord and you're like, all right, why does it seem like it's just like him talking to himself? It's because I am. I'm doing this so that when I pull it up, I can remember like, what the hell did I even do this for? Because sometimes I don't really care about some of these things. I'm just like, it seems like it'll be interesting to talk about. So this is, what did I say? Okay. So this is supposedly required reading for pre-med students. And then I have a note in here saying that this needs to be verified. I don't know if I'm going to verify it now. Maybe I will during the talk, but let's listen to what she has to say.
Of America are required. In case you were wondering what the future doctors of America are required to learn as first-year med students at UCLA, this piece on medical fat phobia was just assigned as required reading. It tells these students that fat phobia is the status quo in American medicine and is something that we need to defeat. And before you all ask, because I know you're going to, this is the person who wrote the article, a fat liberationist PhD candidate at an Ivy League public health school. Medical fat phobia.
What you think her PhD is in? I mean, PhD in this case is pretty huge dunks.
In her words, words, refers to the specific ways that hatred and denigration of fatness manifests within medicine, as is logical common sense. For race to have been constructed, the slave had to exist, and had to exist as the antithesis of health, so that European physicians, anthropologists, and other eugenicists could determine what set the slave apart from the Caucasian. So the origin story of anti-fatness is really rooted in black, fat, queer, trans abolition. This reality, in her view, has created a weight stigma in the medical community where we immediately jump to identify poor eating, exercise habits, mental illness, and citing mortality of obesity, all in the name of obesity prevention. If obesity isn't bad, why prevent it? Besides, she reminds us that it is proven that weight loss is a useless, hopeless endeavor. So it's actually discriminatory when doctors tell you you need to lose weight for your own health. The future doctors of America. In case
Before I go off, I need to verify because that's what I said. I'm like, this needs to be verified. I don't know if this is the case. UCLA med student required reading. I'm pretty sure I fat finger something. Okay, year 1, medical students, okay. So we got basic and clinical pharmacology, Goodman and Gilman's, the pharmacological basis of therapeutics, Greenspan's basic and clinical endocrinology. I don't speak medicine all the time, so it's taking me a while. Harrison's principles of internal medicine, Sher's medical microbiology, Williams gynecology, Williams I can't say that word, obstetrics. Someone give me a pronunciation of that. But Passos physiology of heart disease, APA publishing textbook of psychiatry, APA publishing textbook of neuropsychiatry and clinical neurosciences, diagnostic and statistical manual of mental disorders, Dawkins textbook of child and adolescent psychiatry, physiology, cases and problems, evidence-based. Okay, I don't see what they're talking about. So I don't know if this is true. Because did they say year 1? I think she said year 1. Let's see, books. Maybe there's more. Psychiatry, StatRef, theme 1. Okay, key titles in medicine. I don't think it's going to be in here. Protocols, packages, ebooks, Springer, Link, Taylor. I don't know. Maybe they've taken it off. Maybe. Because this was 22 weeks ago. What's her name? Fat doctor. We'll just say fat phobia doctor. Maybe Google can figure out fat phobia doctor. Pedagogical malpractice inside UCLA Medicine School's mandatory health equity class. Oh, they got the syllabus. David Geffen School of Medicine. Structural racism and health equity. The fuck is health equity? What the hell? What? Hold on. Let's because equity I thought meant ownership or something like having a stake in something. Why did this give me equity or equality? Okay, equity. Yeah. Oh, okay, never mind. The quality of being fair and just. Huh? I don't understand what is just and fair have to do with health? How is that possible? Like, just because I'm healthy and you're unhealthy, I don't understand how that's an equity or a fair thing. Maybe I am healthy because of my decisions that I've made in my life. Also, I don't know, the decisions that my parents made in my life or the people around me that they made in their life. Like, I mean, obviously I can have natural conditions, but they can be managed. Like I have natural conditions that I had to manage. I have asthma. Diabetes runs in my family. Hypertension runs in my family. Dementia and Alzheimer's runs in my family. Heart issues run in my family. So it's like all of these things were known. Like we know about it. And as a result, there are certain things that I don't do because I understand that by doing it, I am only increasing my odds. I already know it's already a high odd. Right? Like a lot of the people in my family are obese. I'm not. Is it because like you can't say it's a genetic thing? It's all decisions. You know, like the reason why I'm smaller than I probably weigh less than my sister. I'm 6'4". Like we have the same father. And it ain't her mom because her mom is skinny. Like she's a petite woman. No, me and my father, we're big people. Like I'm a big person. I'm not talking about like fat. I'm a big person. My sister is too. Like we're like she's tall too. Like she's not 6'4", but she ain't short. So this idea that like fairness, equity, health, what the fuck? Anyway, let's see what they have to say about this. Welcome to the thread of structural racism and health equity. The goal of this course is for students to develop a structurally competent anti-racist lens for viewing and treating health and illness. So we're going to make sure that you're anti-racist by focusing on race. That makes a lot of sense. Teaching sessions will consist of didactics, case-based learning, small group discussions, and community discussion panels. You will also see this thread weave itself throughout the entire first year curriculum. What they didn't say is we're going to go to these communities who we were talking about. Oh, like we're not going to do that. We're not going to go and figure out what are the cultures within these communities, because I firmly believe that culture is the thing that produces a result. So if you have a culture of, oh yeah, like I feel like I want something, so therefore I'm going to do it. If you have a culture that doesn't believe in discipline, well, of course you're going to produce people who don't have those qualities, those virtues. Am I frozen? What the hell? Shit, am I even streaming anymore? Oh shit. I think something's broken. Oh wait, no, it is working somehow still. Can y'all not even see my screen? Have I not been sharing my screen this entire time? I see that I'm still alive, but my screen is okay, it's fixed now. Okay, y'all couldn't see any of the stuff that I was sharing? Oh gosh, give me a second. I want to say that maybe my my thing got, okay, I think we're good now. Yeah, I'm still streaming. Okay, thank you. Did y'all hear or see any of the stuff I was talking about? I actually don't know what was going on. I just looked up and I was like, why is all of my stuff frozen? And anyway, I'll just keep reading. I'll assume that you heard it. It doesn't matter if you didn't. It's okay. What I'll do though is I will share this link. This is the syllabus to this course. The first section of the year will focus on foundational material and delve into the historical context of race within medicine and society, medicine's reinforcement of health injustices, and how structural determinants of health such as race shape our present healthcare framework. Now, I am not saying that there have not been any malfeasance in that industry in regards to certain minority communities or racial communities. I am very well aware of my history and what people in this country did to people like me. And when I say people in this country, I'm talking about a very specific people. It was the majority. I'm very well aware of what they've done. However, that was in the past. And I don't see how focusing on racial stuff right now is in our best interest. When I go to a doctor, I want to be assured that they know all of the science. I don't care if they understand where I come from, because just because someone says that they understand, and this is something that I recognize with a lot of people who've gone to college, they think that because they've read a fucking book that they understand something. It's insane. It's disgusting to me when I have people come to me, oh, I understand your struggle. I know what you're going. It's like, bitch, You don't know shit about me or where I come from. All you know is what you've read in a book, and that's not representative, right? It's this weird thing where we have these people who go to school, they'll get this degree, and then all of a sudden they'll have this power trip and just think that, oh, I have a degree, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. No, you don't. You have a bachelor's degree. That means you're an idiot. That's literally what it means. You don't realize you're an idiot until you start to get your master's degree. Then at that point, you realize that, man, I didn't know shit. And then you keep going. And then honestly, the smarter you are, the more you realize that you don't know shit. It's mostly the idiots who think they know, who think they really know and understand things. I know how much I don't know, but for whatever reason, these people, they don't know how much they don't know, which is interesting. That's a very dangerous thing. Because, there's two types of unknown knowledge. There's things that you don't know, and there are things that you don't know. And right now, these people are giving off the vibe of they don't know what they don't know. All good. Appreciate it for confirming things are working still. The latter portion of the year will be a detailed exploration of the social determinants of health, the power structures which shape these determinants in health of marginalized communities. These sessions will be more place-based. Okay, so they are going to go into a community, I assume. Maybe, I don't know. Speaking to issues directly affecting communities in LA, and will highlight and uplift community movements and advocacy efforts striving for justice in LA. Skill and leadership development will be heavily emphasized in this thread. Leadership? What the fuck does a doctor need leadership skills for? Anyway, I understand they work within an organization, but I thought that's what the healthcare admin, I thought that was their job, to be the leaders. I didn't know it was the doctor's job to also lead and also be a doer. To me, those are two different things. So in leadership development will be heavily emphasized in this thread with the goal of empowering students to be well informed. Empowering, honestly, I hate flowery language. Empowering students to be well informed, structurally competent physician advocates within and outside of the clinical setting. This is the most convoluted sentence I've ever read. With the goal of empowering. What the fuck? Oh my God. Okay, sure. Okay, course objective. Understand the concepts of race. Race is fake. So this is the thing. They're trying to. Oh my! So race is literally a made up thing. It's made up. So now we have to understand the concept of a made up thing that was made up by a known racist to try to justify why his race was superior to another race. And that's the word that he decided to coin the term race to categorize these groups. So like we need to be able to put people into certain boxes. What are those boxes called? Races. It started out with only 5, by the way. Now all of a sudden there's so many. It's crazy. Like I only knew about the Negroid, the Mongoloid. There was 3 others I forgot, but I only knew about those. And then all of a sudden there are all these other ones. For what it's worth, I have read. I've read other things outside of tech. Let's just say that. Like tech is a relatively new thing for me. I actually enjoy history more than you may believe, and I actually enjoy philosophy. I've studied psychology. I'm not saying I like it, but I've done that too. And economics, I like all kinds of things, and they all fit into each other. Anyway, number 2, understand the impact, both structural and understand the impact both structural and social determinants have on the health of marginalized communities. Okay. Learn about the concept of structural competency and demonstrate proficiency in applying structural analysis. A structural analysis lens to patient care. Okay. I was trying to read between the lines, but I'm like, let me not do that, because at the end of the day, I still have enough respect for, the medical school stuff. because it is based in science, I still have enough respect to us to not assume and just start reading between lines. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take them for their word. But so far, I don't see what the benefit of this class is. I'd rather have my doctors go take a class in how to manage their finances so I don't have to pay my fucking money to them in taxes when they spend all their money. I would prefer that. Like, how about that? Let's teach people how to manage their money so that we don't have to pay as much in taxes to compensate for them not being able to manage their money, because by paying taxes, we are giving it to other people who aren't capable of managing money. I think that would be a better solution. It will solve the root problem. Teach our kids today how to manage money effectively. Teach our kids today how to not spend frivolously on things that they think they want, and how to determine what's a short-term gain versus like a long-term gain. And I'm not talking about finance. I'm talking about from the sense of, if I do this thing today, yes, I might get the short-term gain of I get something that I want, but the long-term consequence may not justify the cost of having done it. Another way of saying it is, maybe if we go back to 2008, there was a certain set of policies that were enacted that have led to some of the things that we're experiencing over the past 4 years, well, actually for the past 6 years, with a certain community. Perhaps the intent, while well-informed, it's led to this. Objectives: discuss the legacies of racism and colonialism in medicine. I'm a legacy of racism, and I have said that, I don't know. The legacy is, you have now produced a person like me who gives zero fucks about what you have to say, because if you think that you're better than me, I know that I'm better than you, because I don't even think about you. And if you're thinking about me, well, then there you go. If you're thinking that you're superior, then that tells me everything I need to know, and I don't really give a fuck about your racism. I don't even understand why we need to talk about it anymore. Let's just move past it, you know? Let's just move past it. We've gotten to a point to where people like me can go to the same schools as white people. I think my mom, or maybe my grandmother was the first person that I know of, who I know in my life. Maybe my grandpa dropped out. Yeah, maybe my grandmother was the first person who may have went to an integrated school. And I don't even think she went to an integrated school. I know my mom most likely did. Although in the hood, it was mostly black. So I guess it wasn't technically, even though it may have been integrated. I don't know. I'll have to ask her. But no, the fact that I've been able to go to school and get the same education as most other people, and I've been able to go to college twice. I've been able to get jobs. Like, where's the racism? Or maybe I'm white. I'm curious. Am I white? 'Cause I seem to have a lot of privileges in this American country that I call home. Is this, I don't know. I don't know. I really can't understand how I've accomplished the things that I've accomplished. And I'm going to even go back further. How was it the case that my father was able to do the things that he did? How was he able to start his own businesses and be very successful and have all these people? How was he able to do that if it's racism? Or hell, how about my grandpa? How was my grandpa, who was born in the 30s, how was he able to do all, like, it's just lost. I know racism exists, but I don't think it's as big of a problem as people make it out to be. As someone from the South, like, it's not that big of a problem. And yes, I've been to sundown towns. It's like, I talk to people. That's one thing that I found that I have, I'm pretty decent with, is that for whatever reason, even folks who are outright racist, if I talk to them, they will speak back. And what's crazy is like, I can sense it sometimes after speaking. I can see the wheels turning in their head. They're like, oh. You're not like what I would expect. It's like, what the fuck are you expecting? Like, what do you mean? Anyway, it's just crazy. People think we don't even speak English. There was some senator, I don't know her name. Is it Nancy Pelosi? Who thinks that black people don't know what computers are? I shit you not. We have, you know what? I might be shitting you. Insider just completed a 5-month investigation finding that 49 members of Congress and 182 senior congressional staffers have I don't think this is it. Have y'all heard that? Did she say that after the sun went down? Did you say after the sun went down? No, I said sun downtown. Oh, it was Hochul, her, not Nancy Pelosi. I'm sorry. Hochul, whatever her name is. Okay. I want to see the video of her saying it. So let's look for this. I'll share the link to the video. Oh, she said in the Bronx. Okay, never mind. So she wasn't talking about me. She's only talking about black kids in the Bronx. Has she said it? Maybe if she would have just said black kids, maybe I have a right to be upset. But I'm not from the Bronx, so maybe. But I'm still gonna virtue signal and be upset because they've been doing it for the past 8 years, so I get to do it now.
But first, we start here. New York.
I'm not watching Fox News.
Governor Kathy Hochul faces criticism for a controversial remark that she made during a business conference. She was highlighting the importance of expanding access to technology and artificial intelligence for low-income families during an onstage interview. Well, the comments she made immediately drew criticism from local political leaders. Listen.
Right now we have, young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
Well, Hochul issuing a statement now, walking back on her words, saying, "I misspoke. I regret it. Of course, black children in the Bronx know what computers are. The problem is that they, too, often lack access to the technology needed to get on track to high-paying jobs."
Yes, to your question. There are some that aren't far from here that I ride through. And when I say ride through, I'm not talking about like just transit through. I mean, like, that's where I go driving my whip sometimes. That's where I'll go ride my bike sometimes. And when I say driving and riding, I'm not talking about commuting. I'm talking about driving and riding. You feel me? And I have been, I've had cops and stuff come up and approach me, tell me, like, I've even gotten a ticket once, and they see me. They're pretty cordial. They're very respectful. It turns out like, I'm just like, hey, officer, it's not a yes or no. It's just like, I'm just talking like they're a normal person. And for the most part, I've been treated as if I'm just like them. They seem pretty cool. Handshaking, be safe out there, be careful, that kind of stuff. Which, if they really hated me, maybe they wouldn't tell me to be safe or be careful when I'm on my motorcycle, which is a high chance of death, I'm asking if you've actually stayed after dark and talked to the people there. Well, yes, I have spent my summers in Crockett, Texas. So yes. That's what I'm saying. I don't think people understand where I'm actually, like, where I'm from. I'm from these areas. Like, my family is from these areas. So when I go and visit my family, especially when I was younger, I don't really do any of that kind of stuff as much now. But when I was younger, yes, I would spend the summer there. There's a story, like, I'm not saying that, like, stuff doesn't happen. Like, I've been shot at. I remember me and my cousin, we were doing something at some place. And him and some white kid got into it, yelling at each other, whatever. And then my cousin decided to jump over the fence to go and like squabble up because he was that kind of person. I'm like, man, what the fuck you doing? Like, stay off their property. And then they got their little BB guns and was shooting pellets at us. And we all got in trouble. We all got in trouble. So it's like, if it was racism, maybe only the black kids would have got in trouble. But nah, they got in trouble too. Big trouble. And this is in Grapeland, Texas. So if you're curious, I'll show you on a map where Grapeland, Texas is. I know it's not a place that a lot of people have heard of. It's near Crockett, Texas. And there's another part of Texas that I go to, but I wouldn't call it a sundown town. It's in Hubbard. So yeah, here is Grapeland, Texas. And this is out in the east, northeast, which is the areas that, so in all of this area is the area that they would say is like, oh yeah, if you're a black person, you probably don't want to be in these areas. It's like, okay, sure. See, the thing about people who have a fear complex is that they've often never actually experienced the thing that they're afraid of. So they're talking from a place of ignorance. Kind of like the people who are like, oh my gosh, it's so dangerous. You shouldn't go to these places in Africa. It's like, okay, go there. It's like, oh, yeah, it's not that bad. Somehow I lived, I survived. Oh, you shouldn't go to this old place over here, like in the Middle East. There are terrorists over there. It's like, well, you actually go, you realize that not really. Literally, not really, no. Most of them can give zero fucks about what's going on over here. They just want to live a good life, be left alone. So, yeah. Some of the other areas that I've stayed in Beaumont, which, the areas around Beaumont is the areas like Jasper. I've been out in Jasper. I've stayed out there a few nights. It's, not that big of a deal. There's a place called Paris, Texas. Where's Paris? It's up north somewhere. Let me find it. Where the hell is Paris? I thought it was over here. Where the hell? Is it just not showing up? Here, let me look for it now. Paris, Texas. There we go. Oh, it's a little north. Okay. So it's near New Boston. Did y'all know we have a New Boston? I think it's called New Boston. Yeah, here it is. It's up near New Boston. How do I know these little small towns and cities in my state? Well, it's because I've been to these places. That's how I know. It's not just based off of, somebody said this, and it's like, nah, I've been through there. And I've heard the things that people say, and yes, there could be some truth to it to some degree, but it's typically made up to be a much bigger deal than it really is. It's like, you go here, they're not going to be a bunch of dudes in hoods with burning crosses in your yard trying to hang you. It's just not going to happen. And I've actually met people in the KKK, and I've said words to them. I didn't feel afraid. I didn't feel anything. And even though they may not like me or whatever, they didn't attack me. They still were like, you can tell that they would prefer not to be around me, but it wasn't like, it wasn't any of that. It was just like, hey, I'm here. How are you doing, sir? Because at least where I'm from here in Texas, that's how we greet each other. Like, hey, how are you doing, sir? And they will respond, which is crazy. And now it's crazy that I'll get a response from someone like that, but I won't get a response from a Harley Davidson rider. So I'm a motorcycle person, rider. So when you're on the freeway or you see another rider, you do the two wheel, like this, do it down right here for 2 wheels down. Harley riders don't respond. Everyone else does. So it's just like, in my opinion, Harley riders are worse. Because at least these other people, at least they'll greet me. They'll acknowledge that I exist. Anyway, let's go on to talk shit about her. She thinks that Black people in the Bronx don't know what computers are. And she's like, oh, people need to get high paying jobs in AI. Here's the issue. Let's look at Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, USA BLS. And then we'll say median salary. I just want to see a table or a chart. I don't want to see a table. I actually want to see a chart. I want pictures. I've become dumb. I only want to see pictures now. So we're going to look for a picture. Oh gosh, it's still a table. Shit. Graph. How about that? Graph. Okay. Median. So this is okay. The other one, it was so low that I was like, what? Okay, cool. This is broken out through age cohort. So let's just look at prime earning age years, which is probably what, 20 to this range right here. So on the high end, it looks like people are pulling in about $1,484 a month. Oh, I'm sorry, a week. Why am I looking at this? A median salary is a very good indicator or measure of the centrality of data. Right. So if you were to plot all of these salaries as data points, what you would start to find is that there will be a cluster of points in a specific area. Right. So So these clusters, generally, we would expect them to kind of be in the middle, but maybe they aren't in the middle. So that's why this media is useful. It's not sensitive to outliers, right? So if you assume that if all these things start to cluster up, the median will be representative of what that middle value is. And that's what we're looking at here. That's why I looked up median, not average. Because, average, especially, and it doesn't even, most people don't even know what average is. There are 3 of them, by the way. There are 3 means. But one of the issues with average is that it's sensitive to outliers. So in a country where there's a person who's worth $500 billion, who earns an income of, several $100 million or even $1 billion a year, that is going to substantially skew the average higher. Because you also have people who make minimum wage. Minimum wage in America is $7.25 per hour. Just give you a little, so you understand the range of the data. So looking at this, most people are making the median salary is $6,000 a month, which is $72,000 a year. She's over here talking about blacks need access to these high income things. But here's the thing. The median salary, just like we just use logic, the likelihood that the majority of the people who are earning these salaries, being the majority population of the United States, is quite high. What am I saying? If 70% of this country is white, one would assume that a large majority of these people in this median would also be white. So if white people aren't even earning these high salaries that she's talking about, what chance is there for black people? Right, and what I'm getting at is, if the majority population came and make these high salaries, what hope is it for the minority of people who don't have the power in the political sway in order to get access to those higher salaries? The truth is that most people in America do not get paid a high salary. I'd also argue that most people in America do not get paid a salary. Most people are hourly workers, meaning they work for time. They don't get a salary. Salary, like, not everyone gets a salary. So she's over here talking about, oh, we need these high paying jobs. High paying jobs are typically ones, especially in AI, that's going to be a salary. But how are you going to get these black kids in the Bronx into these high paying AI roles if you're unwilling to spend what it takes to educate these people in math? Because you can't teach math anymore. Math is racist. I don't know. I'm racist. That's what I've just found out, because I know how to fucking add and multiply and subtract and differentiate and integrate. And like, I'm racist because I can do these things. I can read too. Apparently reading is racist. So how are we going to get these people into fields like AI when we can't even get them to perform arithmetic properly? Arithmetic is the lowest level type of math that's possible. Arithmetic is the counting on your fingers. That's basically what it, in my mind, is what it is. It's adding, subtracting. That's arithmetic. You literally do it on your fingers and hands. You don't even have to think. You just 5 plus 4, 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. You don't even have to fucking think. You just look at your fingers. Use your toes if you want to go up higher.
In emerging industries like AI.
All right. Well, her. Who is this? I don't care about that. All right. This crap. Yeah, we're done with this. I don't understand that. I don't see why we're wasting our time and money and energy on teaching racism to our doctors. To me, that is a poor use of resources. All right, I have another one. Who is this? Did I put a note? I need a clip. Oh, okay. Okay. I want someone to make a clip or a GIF of this. It's kind of funny. Here, let me refresh it. The only thing that I can hope is that this is a joke, is satire, and she's making fun of a certain group of people in our country. But if this is real, this is insane. because this person can vote. Just think about that. We allow people to vote who don't have any ownership stake in our country, who don't even know how our system of government works, who have, I don't know if she has a mental issue. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I think that she is making fun of a certain group of people and she's just doing this to have fun. But let's say that this was real. She can legally vote. Perhaps a representative democracy is not the best form of government. Like, I mean, just real talk. That video is too cringe for me. All I can say is I hope that she's just having fun and just, poking fun at some of the cultural stuff that's been going on. That's all I can say. But I do want a clip of this because I would like to use it as like, I don't know, if I say something, maybe someone subscribes or someone does something, they can have a little cat. She's like, meow, meow, meow. She can do that. I don't understand their obsession with cats. Oh, disgusting creatures. Oh, I like cats. Okay. Here's the next one. I think I only have two more. Yeah, I only have two more. So this next one is a guy, and I'm pretty sure most of you, or maybe some of you know, but most of you, I don't expect to know who this guy is. His name is Dr. Umar Johnson. He's not an actual doctor. He's like Dr. Dre, one of those doctors. He's an interesting person. He's a very interesting person. I don't agree with most of anything he says. However, I still like to tune in and listen to him because even though I don't agree with a lot of stuff that he says, he still makes very salient points. Quite often. Like, even though, you can, just because you say a lot of dumb stuff doesn't mean that you won't say something really, really like substantial. And he does this sometimes, and he points out certain things. So I'm like, okay, even I don't understand why you sit and just complain about it all. It's like, all right, you've pointed it out. It's not going to change. All right, move on. Right. But he's had an awakening. It's interesting. So we're gonna listen to it.
Part, bro. After waiting 4 years on black people, I decided to start hiring whites. And guess what? They did in 1 year what the black people couldn't do in 5. White people overcharged us too, but they finished the work. But let me give you this though. And I can say this now because I'm over it. FDMG to almost every black contractor we ran into was nothing but a hustle and a way to get a quick bag. When I look back, they simply used us to get money. They didn't care about me. They didn't care about their school. They didn't care about our kids. We were just a quick hustle. Before we got to school, people was all over the internet saying, as soon as you get to school, we're gonna do the work for free.
I remember that. I remember hearing that.
Once you get to school, I'm gonna do the plumbing for free. Once you get to school, nobody did anything.
He was very excited about it too. He was talking about it. He was like, people said they're gonna help and all that.
And you know the saddest part, bro? After waiting 4 years on.
So yeah, what he's had is a wake-up call. Instead of hiring people based on the color of their skin, which is what he was doing, he decided to hire them for their capability. It turns out when he hired for competence and capability, the job got done. Now, that's not to say that there are incompetent black people. There are plenty of competent black people, just like plenty of competent any other people. But just like every other group, most of us are not. And that's where obviously we're all equal. Like, you may not believe it, but like pretty much every group are going to have people. It's the Pareto principle. You can apply it to most things. It's the power law. If you know it, that's a power law. You've also heard it as the 80-20 rule. It's the Pareto principle power. That's what that is, right? So you could apply it to here. 80% of a population of a group contributes almost, like, they don't really do much. It's the 20% that does most. So I think what he's ran into is by just saying, you know what, I'm only going to focus on this particular group instead of competence. Well, you're going to get exposed to that 80% who are incompetent and who are there probably just to, do all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of sad because I also had a similar experience. When I made my money, the first thing that I thought would be the best thing that I can do is to try to do things to try to get other people in my, like where I'm from, people more like me in my community. I wanted to help them. Nah, I realized that I can't. And then I went and did ayahuasca, and then I realized it's not even my responsibility. And that's why, like, if you hear me, I give zero fucks about something based on a race anymore. I've said, fuck it. I pulled myself out of that mindset. And when I say I pulled myself out of it, it wasn't me. It was it was ayahuasca. That shit pulled me out of it, where it's like, no, fuck that. Like, I am not tied to a race. I am tied to my family and to my lineage, which is not the same thing. But it's a terrible lesson that he had to learn, because like he had the patience that I didn't have. Like, he's been doing this for a long time, just blackity black. He's Mr. Blackity Black, and he got taken advantage of, and it's sad. Oh, okay. So this could be dope as a cover. Oh, okay. So I don't know if I wanted to talk about this today. I think this is something that I wanted to do as a, what did I say? This could be dope to cover on the show about gender dynamics. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm not going to go over this right now. I need to get some more content around this. By the way, if y'all have clips or stuff that y'all want me to check out, consider going to my Discord. I think the link is below in the description of this live stream video if you're watching VOD. If there are certain things that you find that you're like, oh yeah, like this be dope to kind of talk about or chat about, or you just want my take on it, drop it as a link in Discord. I will say that unless I can open up a TikTok link without logging in, because I don't really have a TikTok account, unless like try to do something I can actually log into. So I have X. Maybe I can look at TikTok. If I can, that's fine. Just send it anyway. I'll tell you if I can look at it. Instagram, you could do that. I don't have a Facebook account, so unless Facebook it allows me to look at the video publicly, I won't be able to actually engage with Facebook content. And of course, I got YouTube and all the other things. So I think that's going to be it for today. So if you enjoyed the stream, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of this kind of stuff, go ahead and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitch and all that. If you have thoughts or comments after the fact, VOD, comments down below. Peace.